What is wrong with yoga? What is yoga?
The word yoga is from a Sanskrit root word called yug, Y-U-J. In English letters, it's Y-U-J. It's pronounced as yug, which means to unite, to combine, to become one with. Interestingly, the word religion is from a Latin word called religio, which also means to bind, to become one with, to connect. So whether it is yoga, which is rooted in Sanskrit, the word yoga is rooted, the root word for yoga is from Sanskrit, and the root word for religion is from Latin. They both mean one and the same. Religion and yoga, they mean one and the same. It means to connect, to combine, to become one, to bind.
It sounds like a marriage.
It sounds like a marriage, yes, correct. It is marriage.
So in marriage, we bind to our spouse, our intended spouse. What are we binding to in yoga?
So in yoga, there are two concepts. It depends on which yoga guru is teaching yoga. So one is to bind with self, to yoke with self. In other words, to yoga with self. The other is to bind with the universe or Shiva, because Shiva and universe, according to some of the Hindu writings, they're one and the same. So the yoga facilitates binding a person to self or binding the person to Shiva or the universe or the universe.
I think I heard in your film that Shiva is everywhere and in everything. So if I'm binding to self, what does that mean if Shiva is in me?
When the teaching is binding to self, it means I don't need an external God. I don't need a God who is outside of me. I don't need a God because there is God, there is divinity within me. I am divine. And the spiritual realization of yoga is to realize that I am God.
Wow. Okay, as I hear you say that, it just resonates and is consistent with almost every arena. If you read the Catholic Catechism, it says that you become God. You become God, right? And then in New Age, all of this, the meditation, the Kundalini, it's to become God, to raise that serpent and connect. And, the only place we don't find that is in the Christian religion. We have a God, we don't become God.
Correct. Yeah, in Christian religion, we have a God. Even Islam teaches that as well, that there is one God, that is Allah. But in the Bible, God wants us to unite with Him, to bind with Him. In fact, Jesus, when He prayed that we all become one, just like His Father and Him, they are one together. So He wants us to be one in one accord with Him.
In spirit and in truth.